And we have the expert with us here in studio, Dr. David Gikungu, who is the director of the Kenya Meteorological Department. Thank you very much for making time for us on the program tonight. I think the first question is, what is this we're dealing with? Is this the El Nino we've been hearing about? Is this enhanced rainfall? What is it that we're experiencing at the moment?
Thank you, Yvonne, for having me. And this is a good question, which I've had to answer many times. Yes, the rainfall that we are experiencing have been enhanced by the presence of the same El Nino phenomenon that caused the enhancement of the short rains of 2023. What happened is that the signal stayed fairly strong, resulting in an extension of the short rains into January 2024. And even at the time we were giving the forecast or preparing the forecast for the long rains 2024, the strength of the El Nino was showing sufficient evidence that it would influence the rainfall of the long rains this time round.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is an El Nino we're experiencing. So what is our usual amount of rain? Because this is the long rains period for the year. What's the usual amount of rainfall that we experience during a typical sort of normal weather cycle? And how much more rain have we received during this time? Maybe just so we can get an understanding of what we're dealing with.
The rainfall varies from station to station, where we have, in a county we'll have at least one station. And those are in different geographical regions. And the climatological features in the different geographical regions are different. There are places like Lodwar in the northwestern part of Kenya where we normally don't have a lot of rainfall. But this year, actually in the month of April, there was a weekend where it was reported 77-point-something millimeters, and that was a lot of rainfall.
So that's 77 millimeters over what period? A day, 24 hours?
Over a day.
Okay.
Yes.
And they typically receive how much average?
Sometimes you may not even get that amount in a whole season.
Okay.
That helps you see how immense it's been. Today, we got a report that Ndakaine, we have a station in Ndakaine where we have the huge dam. I was told that in that period of just April alone, we had more than 900 millimeters of rainfall, and that's a lot of water.
In April?
Yes, in April.
Okay.
That's a lot of water. And this has been the case of most places except Voi and a few other coastal stations.
Okay, help us understand what 100 millimeters of rain would look like in a place that perhaps would receive less than that. Just for us to get maybe some type of analogy that we can then relate with?
What I'll give you is not an analogy, Yvonne, but I hope I can explain it simply.
Okay.
If you have a square meter area, let's say some kind of a box that is not letting water through, if you pour a liter of water into that area, square meter, if you measure the height,
or the depth of the water.
The depth of the water.
Okay.
It will be 1 millimeter.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you've got 100 millimeters, or I think, like you said, 70 millimeters in Lodwar, So that would be 7 times that.
You can also work with 100.
Okay.
Because that will be equivalent to, is it 100
100
liters?
millimeters. Oh, 100 liters.
100
yes.
liters.
Right, right.
Will give you 100 millimeters.
Yes.
That should be a lot of water.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's typically a lot for, an area that is used to much less.
Yeah.
Okay. So explain to us why some areas flood more than others. What are some of the factors? We've seen floods and mudslides. Perhaps some would say in places that we're not used to seeing that. So why do some places flood over others? Even as we're trying to identify what are some of the flood-prone areas, as the government says, if you are living in one, then move to higher ground. How do you know an area that is more prone to flooding than others?
It's mainly a question of landscape, because our land is not uniform. We have some grounds that are fairly high, others are level but not necessarily dangerous to live in, but there are also lowlands that would look like waterways. And what we see is that when there is rainfall beyond a certain amount, water tends to take a certain direction. Observation is helpful. But to answer your question, the difference is the issues of landscape and other geographic features, because you will have some orientation where winds blow from this direction towards another direction. And there are other places where maybe there are features like hills that will block the flow of such winds. There are other places where, because of that feature, you find that you don't have moist winds blowing in that direction.
Okay.
And
So which are some of these areas in the country then that people can look out for, even as you urge them to keep safe?
Safe from winds or safe from rainfall?
Safe from floods.
Safe from floods.
Yeah.
The places that are safe from floods are, why don't we put it the other way?
Okay. The ones that are
the places that are dangerous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So which areas?
The
of
ones
country?
that I'm describing as clear waterways.
Okay. So for Kenyans who are watching, they want to know is it certain parts of the country? Is it the western part? Is it the Rift Valley? Is it the coastal areas? So which are some of the areas that you have mapped out and you're saying, if you live in this area, watch out for this?
Actually, in the entire country, even if you were to divide according to the divisions that we have county-wise, in every county there are some places that have lowlands. Let's say wherever there is a river, and this is what I've heard the government explaining today, 30 meters on either side of the river. That is referred to as the riparian land, and no settlement should be allowed along that particular area. And there are, I think it is larger than that. There are places where you find that it's really a valley and there is danger. You've also heard us talking about going to safer grounds for safety, higher grounds for safety.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the amount of water that you're getting from the rain, because some of the high grounds are not necessarily safe. As we have had in actually the last 3 days, we've had reports of mudslides, landslides, and it's from the so-called highlands because of now the water is finding soils that are already saturated. And since they are sloping, that mud just slides. It's in a lot of places it's just waiting for a little more water, and under that weight to just slip off.
Okay, all right. So your final message to Kenyans tonight, keep safe?
keep safe.
Some advisories to them?
Keep safe. And by the look of things, I think we will now be guided on where we must not settle.
Yeah.
If you are rebuilding, there is the concept of build back better.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And this is really what happens even in the developed countries. Yeah, a lot of them have had situations like what we have, but when it comes to rebuilding, they make sure that if a situation like what we have comes back, and it's not just floods, even earthquakes and other things that come naturally, you ensure that if it comes again, it will not find you where you were
before. Yeah. And we're going to experience this for how long? Just what can we expect over the next 7 days? We know you gave a bulletin yesterday.
We've actually issued today.
Yes, another one.
The monthly forecast for the entire month of May, and we are expecting that rainfall will continue.
So what we're experiencing now will continue until when?
We will continue. It will continue throughout the month, but at varying degrees depending on where you are on the land. But I'll also mention, Yvonne, that this particular week, we are expecting Thursday and Friday to have particularly heavy rainfall.
Thursday and Friday.
That is what the forecast shows.
Okay, particularly heavy rainfall.
Yeah.
And then this will go on for the month of May. Does it then subside after that, or what are you seeing?
The specificity that I am using is for Thursday and Friday.
Okay.
But in the month we are expecting that we will have rainfall continuing. In a few places we will have storms once in a while. That is a rainfall that comes suddenly and may cause flooding.
Yeah.
So it's important that we take care.
Okay.
If possible.
Indeed.
And we must not treat rainfall as though it's all negative. It's also possible for us to plan to make use of it, because it may not always be with us.
Indeed.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much for that. And thank you for coming in and helping us understand what is happening in the country and for the forecast over the next few days and indeed the next 1 month. Dr. David Gikungu, who's the director of the Kenya Meteorological Department. Thank you very much for making time for us here on The Explainer tonight. Now, we just want to inform you of some breaking news that we're reporting here tonight.